As I said earlier, in the Bible, there are two Greek words for time. Understand now, the Bible was written in two languages. The Old Testament was Hebrew and the New Testament was Greek. So Greek was the language of the intellectual, academic, pedantic nomenclature, those that could speak on lofty terms. It was written in that language. Luke, Paul, Peter, they all wrote in Greek. So there's two Greek words for time. The first is the word chronos, which means that we are dictating our lives based upon the clock. I get up, I got to catch my plane, I got to pick the kids up at 4 o'clock, have dinner at 6. Our entire lives are orchestrated and commanded, controlled, and complied by this thing we call time. Everybody lives according to time. Human time, the calendar, the clock, the birthday, the anniversary, New Year's Eve, the changing of the calendar. We all honor and respect and abide by this thing we call time because we know how precious time is. Chronos. You get to work on time. You don't lose your job. You pay your house note on time. You don't lose your house. You pay your car note on time so you don't lose your car. You pay your kids' school fees on time so they can go to school. You so respect time. You work and you hustle and you sweat and you cry to make sure you get that money in. What? On? That's human time. But there's another word for time in the Bible, and that word is called kairos. K-A-I-R-O-S. And that is not human time. That is not the calendar. That is not your watch. That is not your birthday. That is not your anniversary. It's not changing of the calendar. That is God's time. That is when God steps out of time into time to change your time for all time. It is a time when God is tired of you wasting his time, and so he shows up with an attitude. I'm tired of you doing things your way. I'm tired of you wasting your life. I'm tired of you making decisions that have nothing to do with me. And so God steps in and says, enough is enough. Joseph had a dream. That's Kairos time. Abraham had a call. That's Kairos time. Moses saw a burning bush. That's Kairos time. David was anointed by Samuel to be the next king. That's Kairos time. The Apostle Paul was heading to Syria on the Damascus road, and Jesus showed up and said, Saul, Saul, why persecutest thou me? That's Kairos time. John on the island of Patmos on the Lord's day heard a voice like the mighty rushing of waters and turned around and saw a light so bright he fell on his face, and the man who was before him said, I am Alpha and the Omega, the first and the last, he who was dead and lives again. That was God's time. Here's the thing I want you to understand tonight. God's been calling some of you for years, trying to get you in his will, trying to get you to let some stuff go, trying to get you to grow up in God, trying to get you to prayer meeting and Bible study and church attendance and tithing and doing what's right time and time and time. And you keep saying, no, I'll do it sometime later. I just preached here a few months ago. And a 28-year-old boy came down, young man, to accept Jesus Christ as his personal Savior. He just accepted God when I was here, went to disciple classes, and just the other day, he was shot dead.